would have thought? Here you are on the eve of a big final on Friday.
Yeah, certainly. I think a few people, it's fair to say, had probably written us off earlier in the tournament. And it was probably fair enough. We probably didn't play the cricket we would have liked to have played. I think I've been quoted before, we were putting together good half games, if that makes sense, and performing quite well in half a game, but we weren't able to put a complete performance together. But I suppose the last week or so, we've managed to put complete performances together, and we've got the results that we wanted, and very fortunate we've qualified.
So 8 losses in a row, it's a fair chunk of losses. Did you worry that you weren't going to be able to turn it around in time, or you had faith in the group?
Oh, you always have faith that you can turn things around. There's no doubt about that. We made a couple of tweaks to the team, and we actually started to sort of put into practice some of the things we'd spoken about in our team meetings, our batting and bowling chats, putting into practice some of the good work the lads have done at training. So we were confident we could play the cricket we wanted to play. And it was nice to see that we were able to actually do that. And I suppose it started up at the Gabba. We implored, actually put a bit of a message out to the boys, as a coaching staff. We said, we know the situation we're in at the moment. We need to win. But what's going to allow us to win? And we need someone to take a bit of responsibility and make that meaningful contribution. And I suppose there were a couple of good contributions with the bat up at the Gabba. A couple of lads in the top 6 did a really good job, got us to a competitive total. And then obviously Rashid took a heap of wickets, and that got us our win. And then coming back to Adelaide, and we were able to win 3 games here on our home ground, which was fantastic, and that allowed us to qualify.
How important have those replacement players been, in particular Ian, Kelly, Farwad's come and taken some big wickets. How important are those guys been in just maybe freshening things up as well?
Yeah, so Ian Cobain's come in and played beautifully last 3 games, batting at 3 there, brought some consistency and some calmness to our batting. Obviously Henry Thornton has come in and performed wonderfully well, bowling north of 140 k's an hour and keeping the stumps in play all the time. You mentioned Thomas Kelly, came in as a replacement player for Travis Head early in the tournament and has played most of the tournament, and he's learning and developing. He's still a very young player. He's but to be able to afford him opportunities, and he's come in a lot of different situations and had to find a way to have an impact for the team, and I think he's done a fantastic job, particularly for a young player who hasn't had a lot of experience. So really pleased with that. Certainly, what we've had, Matt Short's been fantastic up top. He's been with us for a number of years, and we haven't been able to find him a specific role. He's kind of filled in spots that we've probably been a little bit deficient in, or we've had players go away, play for Australia, or injuries, and he's batted at the top, he's batted 6, he's come in the middle order. But this season, obviously with Travis and Kez away with the Australian side, there was an opportunity to have a long run at the opening spot, and he's grabbed that opportunity with both hands, and as well as his bowling has been fantastic as well.
Well, you mentioned Trav and Alex. How big an impact or boost is it to have those guys available for potentially Friday night?
Oh, it's always great to have your international players available for selection. We have played well in the last week or so, and to welcome them back is a massive boost. It's going to be interesting what our team will look like. But we've got a real squad mentality, and that's a real feature of this side. Everyone understands we're all moving in the same direction, and unfortunately there's probably going to be some guys who may miss out. But that's the nature of professional sport, and but we've got a very good team-orientated focus, so it's fantastic.
Do you know who's already going to miss out in the back of your mind? Have you got those names already?
I've been having some conversations with the fellow coaches and just bouncing some ideas around, and we'll continue to do that today. Obviously, we'll know by tonight specifically who our opponents are and where we're going to play, so that will give us a little bit more information to make the most informed decision we can.
Will they be at training today, or they're having a couple of days off to dry out?
No, Trav and Kez are having some time at home. They've been in, as we all have in professional cricket and, obviously professional sport, these, environments of adhering to protocols. And, there was an opportunity to, after a big summer for them, playing for Australia, an opportunity to just have a couple of days in their own beds and spending some time with their family. And they're adhering to those protocols, which is great. We'll see them tomorrow on the charter if we travel, or at training, wherever that's going to be. So until we know exactly what's going on, but they'll join us from tomorrow and be ready to go Friday.
Obviously a home ground would be nice. You'll be watching the TV with the interest tonight.
Oh, it'd be nice, but look, we're just grateful that we've qualified, and once you get to the big dance, then anything can happen. So we're just going to focus on what's going to allow us to give ourselves the best chance to win, and put our energy into that.
Just on Trav, I mean, this time last year was out of the team with the Indian team here,
Yep.
and then 12 months later he's a player of the series. What sort of improvements or conversations did you have with him over the past 12 months to maybe help him get to where he is?
Don't underestimate the importance of his time in county cricket, where it's fair to say probably battled a little bit. And I think that in part over the last 12 months, that was probably making of Travis. It's not all. It's, I suppose, when you play professional sport, everything doesn't go your way all the time. And it certainly didn't happen for him in that regard, playing county cricket. He went there early in the season. Conditions weren't, I suppose, ideal, and he missed out a few times. And I think it just really reinforced that, he was trying to do all these different things instead of just probably being true to how he goes about his work and play his game. I think he's the way he's handled various setbacks over the last little bit is a credit to the man, and the way he's gone about it. His whole focus has been, right, what's going to allow me the best chance to perform well and get selected for Australia. And he put all his energy into being the best leader, best captain he could be for our state here, South Australia, leading from the front, scoring a mountain of runs. He said, "Coach, if I score a heap of runs, they have to consider me." And I agreed with him. I said, "Mate, you just put your energy in what's going to allow you to score the most runs you can to make those selectors seriously consider you." And he's put all his energy into that, but he's put a lot of energy into being the best leader he can be for South Australia. I think he's a great leader of men. He's done that wonderfully well, and that's holding him in good stead. And, we've seen a player that's go out there and play his game. He's adapted and adjusted to various conditions. Bookending an Ashes series with hundreds in tricky conditions. Both those hundreds that he played at some of the best knocks you'll see at Test level. Important moments that really helped the team out, and that's the markings of a very good player.